Well, new questions this morning in the case of Nancy Cooper and about her husband, Brad Cooper. Brad is the husband of Nancy, who is a North Carolina mother of two found murdered last week. Now we hear the 911 call that tipped police to the fact that Nancy had disappeared. In it, Nancy's friend tells the operator that Nancy failed to show up to her house that morning. And listen to what the friend says about Nancy's husband, Brad.
I don't know that he's been physically violent, but I know there's been a lot of tension. And so I, wouldn't be surprised. I hate to say it, but I'm just, I'm not sure what to do.
You can hear the concern in her voice. Police have consistently said that Nancy's husband, Brad, is not a suspect in his wife's death, not even a person of interest. And his attorneys now are blasting the decision to release that 911 call and another. Joining us now is former FBI Deputy Assistant Director Danny Coulson. Danny, good morning to you.
Good morning, Megan. How are you?
Well, I'm well, thanks. Why would the police release these calls now?
I think to put pressure on this individual. I think the significant part of this release is not the fact that it came from Mrs. Adams, but it did not come from the husband. That to me, I think that raises the first question about
but that we knew. That we knew. So isn't it odd that the cops would take now, while they're saying he's not a person of interest, he's not a suspect? Why are they what relevance is this tape to the public then?
Well, remember, we don't know everything the police know. It could be for pressure. It could be to put pressure on him to show that a lot of people had concerns about it. It's hard to say, but they have information we don't have. And I think the fact that they're playing this case very close to the vest, just like the Lacey Peterson case was, the police department in that particular investigation did a wonderful job not putting their investigation out for the public. But it's hard to say, but I would say it's for pressure, just to put pressure on him and let him know that there's still a lot of thought about him as a suspect.
Well, his lawyers came out and said, well, they're not happy at all. They said, look, this doesn't move the investigation forward. They say the leaks appear calculated to do nothing more than inflame already raw emotions. They instigate a rush to judgment at a time when reason and restraint should prevail. Is that a fair complaint?
No, it's not. That's what lawyers do. They complain about pretty much everything the police agencies do. That I would expect them to do that, but they're not running the investigation. They're there to defend their client, and they have a right to do that, and they should very vigorously. But it really doesn't mean a whole lot. That's what they do, and that's what they get paid for.
Danny, how damning is the tape? I mean, this woman who made the call, Jessica Adam, was her friend. She was supposed to meet Nancy on the morning she disappeared. As you point out, she was the one who reported her missing, not Brad. Take a listen to another soundbite from the 911 call, and let me get your reaction about how this could play into the case.
Because she's also now having the same thought that I am about her husband, maybe that he's done something, and God forbid.
And she says on the call as well that the two are in the course of a divorce. Let me add this too, Danny. I spoke with the lawyer for Brad Cooper a couple of days ago and asked him about the family's allegation that Brad was having an affair before Nancy went missing. The lawyer's response to me on the record was, we prefer to keep that private.
Yeah, I think the significance here is the facts behind the release of the tape. The really important thing is obviously Nancy had confided in her friends that there was tension in the marriage, that they were probably going to get a divorce. That could be a motive. That could be a motive for a crime here. It also could be some indication that maybe an argument might have taken place the night that she turned up missing, and an argument could lead to violence. So the tape itself is not that significant to me. It's the information behind the tape that shows that Nancy was talking to her friends about an affair. An affair certainly is, in some cases, a motive to commit a serious crime like this. So I think that's really where we're going with this thing.
And she says on the tape there was never any physical abuse. She said it was just sort of emotional and the tension between the two of them. That happens in a lot of marriages, tense and emotional showdowns, if you will, but not in every marriage does the woman wind up dead. Let me ask you this. It's been more than a week now since they found Nancy's body last Monday. They are clearly looking at Brad. I mean, the police are clearly looking at him, even if they're not naming him a person of interest. They took his DNA. They searched the home. They put crime scene tape around the home. If they think they've got their guy, if they think he had something to do with it, what are they waiting for?
Oh, to put the case together. One of the things they're likely doing is doing a complete financial workup on Brad to see if, in fact, maybe he was spending money on an affair They will look at his phone records to see how many phone calls he may have made to this individual if he in fact was having an affair.
So, Danny, do you think they're putting together a circumstantial case because perhaps they don't have the hardcore
a circumstantial
forensics?
case that would support the idea that the motive was an affair, and they need to do that. They need to take their time. The guy's not going anyplace apparently, and they need to take their time to do a good, complete case. And so, if they indict him, they've got a slam dunk case at the time they indict him. You don't want to arrest him and then try to put your case together.
Right.
That almost always fails.
And for all we know at this point, they're genuinely not going to charge him, and they genuinely don't think he's a suspect. It's all circumstantial and speculation at this point. Danny Coulson, thanks so much.
But Megan, a lot of people are convicted on circumstantial evidence.
That's absolutely
I wouldn't say that.
true.
My view is they're still looking at him. Yeah,
Very rarely
more
do you find
cases
a
are put
smoking
together
gun.
on circumstantial than there are eyewitnesses.
Danny, thanks so much. By the
Thank
way,
you.